Yo, welcome back everyone. Today, I'm going to be doing a video on a character that I've been thinking about a lot recently, and why I believe that he sets a bad precedent for this game. And I really hope that there are no characters like him in the future. I'll explain my reasoning throughout this video, but bear with me. And the character I'm talking about, sadly, is Kane.
Kane is my favourite husband, so take it back right now.
I hear all the Kane mains say, well, before I get into it, I believe you should pull whoever you want. If you like the character, you should pull them. But that doesn't mean that the character can't be better, because Kane should have been better. And please just bear with me. Let's start off with the things I like about Kane. I'll just rapid fire them. His design, his animations, and him in the story. They're all so awesome. Where it starts to fall apart is what they designed him for, and what he's been basically tailor-made for, which is Rift. Rift is the newest game mode added to Epic 7, and it is rough. New game players and mid game players definitely won't be able to do it, and some late game players can't even do it. That's not to say it's not worth doing if you are a late game player, because it drops good gear. Very good gear. It's definitely more efficient than hunts. But the caveat is you have to use fire units, and it's way harder. And it's also on a 4-month rotation where then the element will switch. Granted, I don't know if we'll ever switch to light and dark, because that seems very difficult to do. So I assume it's just going to stick to RGB. So you may see the problem here. Since Rift is on a 4-month rotation, after these 4 months, where is he going to go? So it's not solely his fault. It's actually more to do with the Rift game mode being on a rotation. Because after these 4 months are over, where is he going to be used? He's not like Cigarette, where if you build him, you can put him in a hunt and she'll just sit there, or he'll just sit there for ages and ages, and basically never ever be not used. After this Rift rotation, I really can't see him being used anywhere. Like, he can be used in easy PvE content that anyone could really do, but I don't think that he has any place outside of Rift because of the way they tailor-made his kit for Rift. It kind of makes me sad because I would like to see Kane more outside of the Rift game mode, even if it was just in a different form of PvE content. But I highly doubt that unless we see a buff or some type of change to his kit, then we might see him in some areas like PvP. Speaking of PvP, I fought a few Kanes in RTA and one in Arena, and every single time that he gets picked, he's very easy to deal with. Because he wasn't really made for PvP, he's not very viable. Not to say that you can't use him, because I've seen people try, and I'm sure that you can make it work, but with all the ML Landies and Lionheart Surmias and just all of the stupid, annoying counter-attack meta units, and oh god, I just don't see him working, especially with Lionheart Surmia. I would think that there would be some ways to maybe get around that if they were to give him a slight buff, make him a little bit more viable, but for now, he's not very viable in PvP. Granted, I'm sure if you have God gear, he's very viable.
Well, that's because they actually made his kit around PvE, not PvP.
Okay, well, let's talk about other areas except for Rift that he's good in. There's probably Golem. He'd probably be good in Golem. And then there's other PvP, like the story. I'm sure you could use him in the story, because you can use like nearly every character in that. And yeah, I'll just cut the shit. To be honest, he's not great in other areas of PvE either. Like, sure, you can use him in PvE, because most PvE content is inherently easy, but when it comes down to it, he's still not great at any of the harder content that requires certain characters to build. Like, when it comes to Labyrinth bosses, I haven't heard about any Labyrinth bosses that he can be used against, and same with hunts. I haven't seen anyone use him against any hunt bosses. I'm sure that you could probably make him work against Golem, but no one really farms Golem that I know of, so if you do, like, good for you, I guess, but I don't know why you would do that. And yeah, I just don't see him, like, working as well as other characters which are more free to play outside of Rift. Because since Rift is so constricted to the fire element, he's one of the best. But that isn't to say that he is the best. Well, he is the best. He can get the highest score. But that's not to say it's your only option. Because you also have characters like Mercedes and Milim and even Haste can be used against them. And I believe Haste is still one of the worst characters in this game. He's a little bit better now, but he still sucks. And I would avoid building him. To be honest though, Mercedes' damage kind of falls off compared to the rest of them. But if you have Milim, I think that she's probably your best bet, because if you build her, she can also be used in PvP. So I'm just saying, if you wanted to farm it and you had to choose between all of the damage dealers, I think the best one is Milim, and the second best is probably Kane. But that's only because Milim can be used in PvP quite efficiently also. But she is also a limited collab, so, you know, that makes it rough. Now let's talk about why I made this whole video, and that's the fact that I believe Kane sets a bad precedent for future characters to come. Simply put, Smilegate made a character specifically for the Rift game mode. And there's different rotations of the Rift game mode, which would require different elements. Which makes me think that for every single Rift game mode that comes out, like new elements, there'll be a character made specifically for that element. Which would be fine if the character was useful in other areas. Which I'm hoping Smilegate looks at and learns and goes, okay, let's make this person good at Rift and also good in Expedition or something like that. I don't know, but I really, really hope they don't go down the path of making characters for the Rift game mode specifically. Because since it's on the rotation, there's 8 months where the character, if they're not good in any other areas of content, will basically just be sitting there collecting dust. While the new one comes out that you have to build again, and maybe there's like a substitute you could use that you might already have, like maybe the green expedition comes out and it turns out Vildred's really good for it or whatever. But simply put, there's probably going to be at least 3 characters that come out that will only be good in Rift game mode. I hope that that's not true, and they could just keep going. They could every Rift rotation drop a character which is for that element that's just crazy good in that game mode, but then not good anywhere else. I really hope that's not what they do, and I'm hoping the negative reaction they got to Kane is a tell that they shouldn't do that in the future. Granted, this is all speculation. Kane could have been a one-off thing where they just thought, we'll make him for the new Rift game mode, but probably not. I hope that he is though, I really do. But that's enough about my venting of Kane. The one thing I would say with Kane before I end it is, to make him better, I would just simply buff him in some way, or maybe change something about his kit that makes him more viable in PvP. I don't know exactly what you could do, but I would say he definitely would need a buff after this Rift rotation, otherwise he's not really worth pulling at this current state. Yeah, sweet. But yeah, that's that. Thank you for watching. Leave a like and subscribe if you found this video even a little bit entertaining, or just do it anyway because, yeah, please. And yeah, no, have a great rest of your day. Sweet. See ya.